What is happening, Mark Wille? How are you, my friend?
I'm awesome, Dave Cooper.
You know what? I just think it's absolutely amazing. You're now in Minneapolis. You're all over the place. You're sitting outside. You're losing your voice, right?
Hold up.
Well, don't lose it yet. We got a lot to cover here today.
I'm excited, Dave. I'm excited. This is the 10th episode. This is the top 10th episode.
Yeah. So today we're going to kind of go over all 10 episodes and just have a conversation, bring the audience in, and just kind of enjoy the fruits of our labor because it's been a lot of fun.
Are you talking about the YouTube audience, Dave?
YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn audience. Can you believe it? How did we go from one platform to 3 platforms all in a short 10 weeks?
I think you call that a heck of a good job being a BSer.
Yeah. Well, we can definitely BS, man. You're going to have to really BS your way today. That voice is scratchy. Yeah. I love it. All right, Mark. So listen, man, this is going to be a lot of fun today because it's been a while since you and I just went head to head on what we're going to do, right? Kind of like the World Wrestling Federation, other than it's just virtual.
So this is what we call the unstoppable force meets the immovable object.
That's right. Love it. All right, everybody. Listen, if you're just joining us, we are live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Mark BareNaked Wille and myself are going to cover the top 10 shows that we've had. There have only been 10, or this is the 10th, I should say. And with that said, please like and share right now the YouTube channel, the LinkedIn channel, and the Facebook channel so we can grow building science knowledge and how to build better and healthier using offsite construction. What do you think, Mark?
I don't need a voice, Dave. You don't miss a beat, brother. Everything you say is spot on. It's almost like we talked about this ahead of time.
Yeah. Well, we you know what? Some of the best moments come from impromptuzation.
Don't tell that to a presidential candidate. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Impromptu is not the way to go. All right, Mark. So listen, how did we kick this off? Do you remember the first episode? By the way, Mark and I have a running bet. He said that he can memorize all 50 episodes when we get to 50, and that's not that far away. And I told him that's all it would take to impress me, and he said it was simple. So you can guarantee on the 50th episode, I'm calling you out on it.
I love it, Dave. So people are important to you and I, right? The
Absolutely.
People in our lives, the people we connect with, the people we meet,
Yeah.
the people we connect, right? That's a big element in construction. And so I have a benefit. So it's easier for me to remember these because Dave does 6 shows a week. I'm only involved on 1. So if there was a challenge to remember all of your guests, I would already, be sitting in a chair ready for a lobotomy. But so I have a benefit there. So
yeah.
I know we were going to jump into it, Dave, but could we maybe jump into who are people watching today? You want to do that?
Yeah, why don't we? Let's see who's out here right now. So listen, if you're out there, make sure you tell us where you're from, put likes and what have you in the comments. We definitely want to make this an interactive, fun conversation. Now's your chance to ask Mark BareNaked Wille if he really is wearing pants when he stands up. So this is the show for that. So all right, Mark. So we have a couple people that are starting to tune in. Let's see. Livik Sanhok. Shout out to Lucky T Timo. Who is that? Do you know who that is?
I don't know, but I anyone who is named Lucky T Timo ought to be a cool cat. So nice to meet you, and look forward to seeing what you do and how we can help.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, look who else is joining us today. Brent Musson. Hey, what's happening? Bermuda by way of Los Angeles. Man, I wish I was in Bermuda.
Yeah, just rub it in. Brent.
Yeah, we don't care. I'm sitting here in Connecticut. It's raining. Looks like it's nice where you're at, though.
100% humidity and 94 degrees. Hot damn.
Yeah. Love it. All right, so let me take Brent off of my list here of things, and we're going to move into it, Mark. Let's hop into episode number 1. Episode number 1. What is BS Friday, you ask? Mark.
So the first episode, Dave, we read off a list of 50 different ideas, right, of what building science was, or what BS stood for, correction. Those were submitted by my mother and father, so bless your heart for playing along and doing that. I think we got up to 46, if I remember, Dave. So the other benefit was in the 3 to 4 weeks leading up to the show, you kind of played a game on people, Dave, and you said, who is that bearded science guy, right? Or however you phrased it. So that was really fun. And then we spilled the beans. The BS stood for bologna sandwich, right?
Mind the double chin.
Who is that guy? Who is he?
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, Dave. People don't realize that we're virtual friends, right? We connected on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
We picked up the phone and we called each other, and that connection led to construction conversations, led to offsite manufacturing conversations, led to building science conversations, and led to a joining of our networks right quick. You were in Las Vegas at the International Builders Show, and I kept throwing you people to meet, and you were like, holy crap. And you already had a list. You already had a huge list. So I tip my hat to you, Dave, on being able to broadcast live from IBS and do that, and then following up at the World of Modular, right? You squeezed in right before COVID, and you interviewed so many people, and I got to be a part of that virtually. So bless your heart on how you connect and share these stories and these connections virtually is a blessing for all of us.
Mark, I really appreciate it. But let's get something straight on the story here. First of all, right? We'll start off with the top BSs, right? What do the BS stand for? We went through that whole list of 40, and even I didn't go building systems.
Oh, right.
Remember that?
Yeah. Now who was that? Was that Jennifer that said that?
No, it was Devin Perry.
The
director of the Building Systems Council. Yep. Devin Perry from the NAHB.
It's kind of a natural. It's kind of a natural for Devin to say that. So
well, it should be a natural for me. So that was one thing. And to clarify, just so you know, Mark, Wille, and I started talking because I remember when I was just really starting to get heavily into the video, Mark said, hey, listen, I'm writing stuff. You're not responding. You called me out on something. And I just missed it. So I finally saw it like a month later, and I was going back to my feed, and I reached out and I said, you know what, Mark, I apologize. I want to call you. What's your number? And you gave me your number, and that's how it all began. Because I felt horrible.
Our first phone call, Dave, was 90 minutes.
Yeah.
I remember because I set out dinner, right? And I was going to eat, and you called, and I didn't want to miss the call. And it was 90 minutes later. I think my potatoes turned back to, the cold state they were in before cooking them. But it was a great 90-minute first call, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, no, it's turned out to be a blessing. And look at us now. We're getting ready to go through all these great guests that we've had on the show, people that have kind of blessed us with their presence and willing to share their knowledge. Everybody that we had on is super busy. They could go anywhere, and they decided to spend their time with us. And a lot of that's thanks to you and the relationships you've built with them. And, you have a very, very, very big, broad network of people that you know. And the great thing about you, like I said, I just want to say is not only are you handsome, right? But the building science knowledge that you have is so deep and ingrained in your soul that it's absolutely amazing. So amazing that you like to tell your stories by letting other people tell what's going on and then filter with them. And I think that's amazing that you put other people first. So why don't we hop into it?
Let's do it, Dave.
All right. Episode number 2, engineered wood with TStud. Good old Brian Iverson. I know it. Listen, and I know you spend a lot of time with TStud, and you support TStud, and you work with Brian. And I think it's absolutely amazing. You set me up to meet Brian in Las Vegas, and we did an interview. And I'll never forget that interview with Brian, because once he got going, I said, Brian, it's going to be a 3 to 5 minute interview. 3 to 5 minutes. I think we went 10, 15 minutes, but there was no shortage of conversation on the TStud. What? Give us the background on the BareNaked TStud. That's where the BareNaked Mark Wille name came from.
Yeah. So Brian obviously is a good friend of yours and mine. He's an inventor. He's an entrepreneur. He's a carpenter. He's an architect. He's a building energy analyst, right? He's just got this plethora, and as you learn, Dave, you start pulling that string, and he starts talking. So he had the R19, which is a 2x6, and he had it filled with foam, and it was revolutionary, straighter, stronger, thermal 98% thermal bridge free. It was just awe-inspiring. And so we had connected years back, and I was always struggling because we use a lot of forms of insulation, Dave. Right. And I said, can we do something, without the foam for my other clients? And he goes, oh, we got so many options, right? And then you pull the string, right? And Brian starts going. So so the BareNaked essentially is an engineered wood product, right? It's graded and it's stamped SPF 2x3s that are modified with hybrid dowels to be they're like 98% thermal bridge free, right? At that point, I was counting. So just a blessing of a product. You get continuous insulation through your stud, not just in the cavity, through your stud. And that's a game changer. Stronger, straighter, faster, brother.
Stronger, straight. I was just trying to see if I'll pull it up and show it, because it really is. It is a game changer. And Brian went through a lot of iterations on this. It wasn't like just right out of the box he got it nailed down. It took a lot of time, a lot of back and forth, a lot of science to truly make it what it is today. I mean, it's straight, it's strong. I mean, there's components to this type of engineered wood that you don't see by using a regular 2x6 stud with some insulation around it.
That's exactly right. And the industry support is phenomenal. People hear this stuff, right, coming down the train tracks, and they're like, how can we help? Can we offer our engineering? Can we offer our energy modeling? Can we offer research and development? Because they're blown away. Look at that. Dave, you are on the spot. You just did this now? Yeah.
I just pulled it up because I want people to really understand what this is. I wish I could blow it up bigger, but we're kind of stuck there. But, everybody really understand this is building science, even though we're friends and we talk. And this is an article from Fine Home Building Magazine. So this isn't like it's not getting any recognition. And I also believe Matt Rissinger is doing some intros and work on this as well. It truly is a new way of building. And I'm proud that we had it as one of our first episodes on the show.
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, I've been a builder. I've been a material geek for my whole life, right? My dad ran lumber yards. So for me to see something different than a 2x6 and be attracted to it, and then my constant quest for first time of the day, folks, passive house, right? It's just there. So I enjoyed starting with Brian and the network he has and the commitment he has to our buildings in the industry. So episode 2, I give that a thumbs up.
Yeah, that was a thumbs up. All right, listen, we got a couple other people joining us. Let's say hi. Warm in Michigan too, Buzz Holwitzer. How are you, sir?
Good buzzard is probably taking his 4x4 and his dogs down to the boat so he could open a Corona.
Hey, you know what, Buzz? Next time you put it on, use that. Say the buzzard is warm in Michigan too. What the heck? Love it, love it, love it. Jennifer wrote, BS equals bologna sandwich, brightest smiles, blue sky. Nope. building science, and she didn't even put systems, building systems. So what's the matter with her? I'll yell at her. She's right behind the desk.
I think what you meant to type, Jennifer, was better shirts.
Yeah. There you have it. There you have it. All right, Katie Kaluzny. You know what? Did she make the show? Are we going to talk about Katie at all?
We're going to talk about her at the end, and then we're going to talk about her at the very end. So, hey, Katie.
Yeah. Happy BS Friday. Good to see you, Katie. Diane Wille. Now, okay, Diane, you and I got to talk because there's something seriously wrong with this guy. No, I'm just kidding. Diane, we're going to have to bring you on in a guest appearance one of these days. You've been showing up pretty regularly.
It wouldn't be her fault if there's anything wrong with me. My mother and father are angels. I mean that. Very blessed. So I think that's the first time she ever used the word BS. So bless your heart, Mom. Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday to you as well. And we got Etienne joining us. Hey, Etienne. Hi, everyone. Happy Friday. Great to have Mark in Minneapolis. Hope Dave can join us soon. I offered to come up there and help Etienne move. So he hasn't taken me. I take that back. I offered to send my kids.
I'm gonna go visit him. I'm gonna go inspect his house and give him the old 1-2 punch, and then have a cold one in the backyard.
Love it. Well, listen, have one on me too. Hey, what's happening, Jerry? Good to see you this morning. Good morning, folks, he says. Love it. All right, we'll come back to some more comments here in a moment. Let's get back into it. Episode 3. This was a great... Oh, am I on episode 2 or 3? No, I'm on episode 3.
Yep.
Jennifer's in the background getting me confused. Episode 3, building science. We had Cheryl Ciecko on sick buildings. This was one of the most rewatched videos that we have had out there. And I think because it hits home with so many people.
She's such a good communicator, and she shared her story, right, of why. Yeah. First of all, she's a brilliant, accomplished lady, a leader in many industries. But she wasn't even talking about her architecture. She wasn't even talking about everything she's done for the wood industry. She went right from the heart and said what her family went through and what she went through, and the change that they made, holistic health change, right, for the family, for the building they live in, for the buildings we all live in. It was great. She shared so well. Like we were trying to stay on point, right? And we had a lot of good interviews with her prior, but boy, did she. I could have sat there for 4 hours. We know we're going to have her back because she just laid it out there so succinctly of how important our health is connected to our environment, both indoor and outdoor, and all the materials. So it was awesome, Dave.
It is awesome. And one of the things to point out about Cheryl, because we always want to support the people that are supporting us, is, this is her site. There's tutorials on how to check your house, how to make sure your kids are safe. And you got to listen to her story, because the story about how her kids were sick, and that's what drove her to really dig in and learn about what's going on. It wasn't really asthma. It wasn't really allergies. It was a sick building is what it came out to be. It was all the mold. It was I can't remember the age of the structure, but things, they were built well, but doesn't mean they breathed well. It doesn't mean that things didn't build up behind the scenes that you can't see. So you got to check out her site. This is the first time I've been here in a while, Mark. I didn't know she put us on there. Up top is our episode here, which is pretty cool. So
Cheryl has a team of individuals, Dave. It's not just Cheryl. She has a team of individuals where, like you, they're constantly changing and uploading content and reflecting on the data and putting it out there. So great storyteller, passionate about what she does. And really, that's why we asked her on, right? As you say, it's an invitation only. It's people. It's people that we know, and it's people that are making a change in the industry. And we're going to stand shoulder to shoulder. And when they need a leg up, we're going to lift. And then when they need applause, we're going to do it.
Well, that's it. It's gonna take all of us to move this industry forward, and she's one of the pieces of the puzzle and a very important part. All right, awesome. Let's go to episode 4, and then we'll take a break and talk to our guests. What do you think?
Love it.
All right, Mark, I wanted to say something. So this episode with Matt Daigle, the CEO and founder of Rise, Build with Rise. Here, I'll show the site. Mark, you want to know what's really cool about this? Our content just went viral and trended on LinkedIn under #modular.
Wow.
Yeah. How cool is that?
The one from today or the one with Rise?
No, this was an episode with Rise. It was a repost of our episode.
Yep.
And that repost went viral. That was actually let me take it back. I'm sorry. I messed that up. Jennifer from Rise reposted something that we did, and it went viral. But I also know the Rise stuff went out there pretty well too. You got me on that one. You're right. I'm going backwards in my mind.
So Rise is very well connected, and you and I both speak with them on a weekly basis, right? To support what they're doing, and they support us. And Jennifer over there, she's a fast mover, right? I challenge Mario Andretti to keep up with that gal. She's a smart cookie.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's talk about this conversation with Matt, because Matt and his drive to do what he has done with this whole website and build his team came out of a personal situation, just like Cheryl.
Yep.
He wanted to find a better way to do things, and a better way to move things forward. And I think that this is where it all starts, right? The passion starts because of something personal for most people. And it's so true.
It was great because we had talked a lot about the science, and Matt really came forward with the sustainability side of the health. And he gave the story, like you said, heartfelt from his occurrences. And I think you and Jennifer had the same thing happen as happens to me. When you have couples, either they're about to have a child and they want you to build a house, or you're building a house and all of a sudden they're going to have a child, right? It's almost like the keys and the plan set to a house are a ticket to a couple more fingers and toes. So when you have more fingers and toes in the family, everything changes, right? You start doing research and you start realizing how everything's connected. That environment is going to provide love and nurturing, and the building is either going to help or it's going to be a problem. And and Matt embraced it, and now it's his whole company drive, right? The entire team's drive, and they got a following like none other, right? I'm really impressed with each person of the organization along with their efforts.
Well, for sure. I mean, for everything that they're doing, and I was just looking at this post from Jennifer Kelleher. I believe is how you say her last name. They work hard. They work hard to bring information and education and show products and people that are doing good thing and building science, and it's paying off for them in a big way. I mean, just looking at their site, Mark. I mean, who else had? I need Forbes as underneath on my website, right? And Grist and New York and Reader's Digest, Realtor.com, you name it, across the board. Best company. They're doing it right, and they're getting recognition for it. And I think that's a big deal. And I want to thank Jennifer for helping that post go viral. That was awesome.
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons they're getting the notoriety is everything they're doing is for the betterment of others.
Yeah.
And so people love transferring that story. That's not a story you should have to pay for. That's a story that should have wings, right? It's Absolutely. Not a left or a right. It's a pair of wings that take you farther and make a change. I mean, putting people first, right? What else is there? Right? We all know it innately, right? That's what we were taught, and that's our goal in life is to teach. Is the betterment of others. And it starts with a roof over your head and proper running water, and then it moves on to true health and comfort.
Yeah, for sure. 100% agree. All right, let's jump into some guests, Mark. Look at that. We're at 30 minutes already.
Just like that.
Just like that. We're halfway through. Let's get into it, man. All right. So we had Jerry said hello. We had Etienne. Let me catch up. Hey, Brian from TStud. Were your ears ringing, Brian? We were talking about you. Just a little bit. Good to see you. All right. Let's keep moving through.
Hey,
Jennifer,
I got a water bottle sent to me.
look at that. Who's that from? Gatsoon? Suck it soon. Where's that from?
They just make incredible hardware, state of the art hardware. If you're doing cabinetry or doors, right? They allow it just to move like butter.
Yeah, I love it. Perfect. Jennifer says, sick building, Cheryl Ciecko, avoiding mold, knowledge of building design and construction is essential for finding solutions to bulk water and poor air quality. Yes. Andrew Seeley, man, you want to talk about somebody that gives us all kinds of support and love. It's Andrew Seeley. I'm telling you, the guy really pours his heartstrings out for us and helps us a lot. And I want to just say thank you publicly. He's got it going on.
There's a backstory to that. I mean, Dave, you know, Andrew and I are friends, and his dad was in broadcast radio.
Yeah.
And both of us have a lot of shared ideals and principles. And so after the shows, we talk all the time. And both he and I grew up in a world where you had radio playing, and we didn't grow up in a television environment. And so when you bring on his background and his family and the stories he tells, it's so nice because we could talk forever about wall assemblies and materials and all these things that we get into, right?
Right.
But then to back it out and talk about these things, it really builds a good relationship.
Yeah. No, you know what? It does. And, you know, hey, listen, as much as we like or hate it, you know, the world is built on relationships. So if you don't have them, you know, that's not good.
Amen.
Love it. All right. Brian said, we hired Rise to do our TStud and BareNaked stud content and marketing. Well, that was cool. I didn't know that. Well, there's a plug for you, Rise. Good job. And Andrew said, welcome you all. Well earned. All right. Let's hop back into it. Thank you, Andrew. We are in episode number 5. Fresh air is the new luxury item we all desire. Mark, why don't you run us through this one? Because this is right up your alley.
So this one we had Insight Property Services and EcoAchievers. It was Joe Konopacki and Lindsay Elton, and They were bringing us home on building assessments, right? Before you do something to a building, first you have to decide what the building's telling you, what the environment of the building and how it's being infected by the environment, right? Radiant, convection, conduction, moisture, water, bulk water, vapor, and then the systems of the building, heavily involved, right? Do you have gas appliances that are going on in the building, right? So these people assess the buildings, assess whether they're tight, loose, problematic, or doing great, and they give us a number, and they're wizards, right? They've done thousands of homes, existing and new construction, and I've been to hundreds of homes with them. So when they were on, it was great. It was the first time, Dave, we had multiple guests, right? And that was a joy to bring that all together. And I think they both did a good job.
Oh, yeah. Well, they did an excellent job. Jennifer actually wrote something here I think we should put up. What is the red door of truth? Lindsay Elton and Joe Konopacki help explain the how and why between measuring air tightness and solutions for ventilation. And so it began with Fresh Air Fridays. Perfect. I mean, that kind of explains the whole show right there.
That's a t-shirt, Jennifer. Red Door of Truth.
We got a lot of
Fridays opens the red door of truth.
We got our new website getting ready to launch here in about a week, Mark. Maybe I need to have a t-shirt store on there.
I don't think that's a maybe. I think we have a trajectory here, and people want those shirts.
Want those shirts? You know that we will. You know, you're right. That was the first show we had multiple guests on, and then we've grown those multiple guests. I've lost hair over having multiple guests because it was so well. it takes a lot of work to do the multiple guests, but what happened out of it, we came up with this whole system where it made it so much fun bringing everybody in for their opinions. And once we figured out how to do this and incorporate it all, it changed the whole atmosphere of how we go live.
Yep.
And that's cool.
And it happened first of all of the live shows. I believe Dave Cooper Live was the first one to do that. And I believe BS Fridays was the first day of the week to do that. So
yeah, absolutely. It was perfect. Love it, love it, love it. All right, moving on. We are going to episode 6, right? The Science of Air, part 2. Let's talk about fresh air, Minotair, ERV, HRV. Let's talk about these things.
So I liked Alexandre on the show because it shows that we're not just pulling from people from our backyard by any means, right? He's up in Montreal inventing solutions, right? So he believes in continuous air, and he believes in conditioning that with the ERV and bringing down the humidity where you need it. And so to have an all-in-one plug-and-play system, he did a wonderful job of not doing a commercial, but of making people aware, or allowing people to be aware that their environment could be controlled easily and more readily without all this garbly gook and 5 things not talking to each other.
Sure.
And then he did it with the entire system set up behind him like a virtual trade show.
Yeah, love it. He did. People can expect more virtual trade shows from us, I think. What do you think?
I tell you what, Dave, a reminder of our conversation earlier.
Yeah.
The Canadian border is closed, right, until January. And so if you had shows that didn't happen in 2020, that doesn't mean you're going to have a trade show in 2021, because people need to plan these venues and these trips and coordinating in advance. So what we've been doing on a daily basis and a weekly basis is bringing content to people's computers so that they don't have to waste the carbon of flying around the stratosphere, right, and being lost in the ether. We're bringing the content live and virtually. That's what we are.
6 days a week, we're bringing it.
You got to rest on the 7th, right?
Yeah. Well, a little bit, but here's the thing, man. I mean, it's only going to get better. We're just scratching the surface of the amount of people that we're going to bring in, the education we're going to bring in, the topics we're going to talk about, because this building science runs deeper than just fresh air and studs and house wrap. There's more to it than that, and I'm looking forward to really diving into it. We'll tag next week, because even next Friday is a different type of building science.
Well, I think that's a quick segue for the people that are paying attention. Can I tell people what's happening Wednesday?
You can tell them what's happening. I'll put it up on the screen if I can find it, and you tell them what's happening.
So on Wednesday, so you don't have to travel, Dave is traveling virtually for you, and he's going to take you to the part 2. They were setting these concrete, right, modular units.
Yep.
In New York several weeks ago. We all watched it. We all loved it. He's going back there to the site, so we don't have to go, right? We're now carbon positive because we don't have to travel. Dave's doing it for us, and we get to see the site. This is a hospital, right? In
Emergency
New York.
room edition during COVID that we put on. Not for COVID, it just timing happened that way.
Right. So the addition allowed for exponential amount of time savings, quality, and this is a hospital, so it also took into account added health benefits for the workers, because there's not a massive amount of people on site, and the environment right now. It's just brilliant that you're able to do that and take us with you on Wednesday for your second trip out there.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, Mark. And this was 7,000 square feet set in 2 days in regular work hours, no night work. This was a month and a half, 2 months ago. We set the first modules in those 2 days. The ribbon cutting ceremony is open tomorrow. This is a 7,000 square foot pediatric emergency room addition for Good Samaritan Hospital in West Islip. 3 months or less. And you want to know what kind of MEPs go into a hospital? These aren't trailers, man. This is full concrete, 4 or 5 inch floors, everything. These modules weigh 50 to 70,000 pounds each.
They have so many
cool.
special lines that go in and out of these units for air and oxygen. If you've ever worked on a hospital project, you understand the sheer detail that goes into it.
Yeah.
So the fact that it's 7,000 square feet, 7,000. Good night, nurse.
In 2 days, completely dried in. Doors, walls. There was even paint on the walls. But you guys will get to see that. We're doing a ribbon cutting ceremony, and I look forward. That's going to be Wednesday next week. Times to be determined, but we'll get those out. We're still working through the details because there's presidents of hospitals and everybody else going to be around for this. All right, Mark. I love it. I love it. I love it. So let's move on to episode number 7. Ways to make passive house easier and cheaper. You know, we shouldn't even say cheaper. We should say less expensive.
Yeah, value added, right? A simplified system with greater results. Precision equals performance. We've heard that before, right?
We have. This was a great show and so much fun. Prudence is amazing. Where is Prudence? She out there today? So I think we had her on, Dave, right in between her move from Vancouver to Northern California, and she said, "Don't worry, I'll be there," and she was there, and we only got through half the content. I know,
right?
We did.
We got through half the content, and at the end, she gave us a little nugget, a deep dive into the detail that she does so that all the rest of us can have enjoyable, welcoming spaces. So she was great. She joined us again to referee the battle royal of the insane not to
vapor guys,
boys.
The vapor barrier guys, the membranes. I don't know if that's the right word. Insane in the membranes. There's a lot of brains between those three.
Our YouTube of that, Dave, was also very well received, and I got a lot of messages from people that have never heard of Passive House, and alarmingly, and she brought that in on a simple level, and she was able to garner more visitors to the accelerator as a result of that show, and that's what we're trying to do, right? So it worked.
It did work, and make sure when she comes back on the next show, I need some of that psychedelic music. We're gonna do strobe lights and everything. There's a lot we got to learn about Prudence. I'm waiting for that chance.
I think that's up to her, but I'll push the envelope.
Love it. All right. We're gonna do one more episode, and before we do 9 and 10, we'll go back and say hello to some of our guests. So episode 8, July 3rd. Katie Kaluzny, Associate Director of Illinois Green Alliance. Now, know what's cool about this? They did the same thing I'm getting ready to do next Wednesday. They were doing virtual tours of all these different style of homes, whether they were passive homes. You can probably name them better than myself. In Chicago, this is something that happens every year. And every year it was you had to physically show up. Well, here's something that came out of COVID that is a good thing. Yeah. Now you don't have to live in Chicago. You can live wherever you are and virtually really see all these different structures and buildings.
That's exactly right, Dave. This year was the 8th year, and it's traditionally done all day Saturday and Sunday.
Yep.
The first Wednesday of July was the all electric homes. Yeah. It was phenomenal. As you know, I did a lot of video work of those houses, of the offsite passive house net zero home. And then this past Wednesday, we had the deep energy retrofits of existing buildings. That was brilliant. This coming Wednesday might be the passive house one. And then the last Wednesday of the month is the other one. So it's the Greenbuild home tour. She did a wonderful job. And I just realized this. Katie's actually going to complete a milestone on this show, or maybe Prudence did. So Katie's coming back, right? The last week in July for the new Gravity Conference, with a couple guests or a guest, and so to have her coming back, it just so happens that these virtual conferences are coming out of Pittsburgh and Chicago. So, is it Pittsburgh, Dave? Or
I think she did say Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll have to go. I'll have to find out when that is. Maybe I'll go and live stream from there since I am from Pittsburgh and my family's there. It'd be a good reason to go home. My mom would be happy to see me.
The last Wednesday in July. So after they tour all the homes, there's question and answers between hand. So I have to forewarn you, Dave. I'm going to be the virtual host for the last Greenbuild Home Tour of July. So you get to see my face again.
Nothing wrong with that. I like your face, man. I like your face. We're good. All right. So let's say hello. You know what? This is for whatever reason it didn't show up, and sometimes that's not the user's fault. The StreamYard does this sometimes. But Chris at Ciecko Offsite Equipment here. Virtual tour is the best. Look forward to it. Thank you. Well, hey, Chris, it's good to see you. In fact, I have a video. I got to think of Ciecko actually getting ready to come out here. I know I've been saying that for a while, but I got the interview when I was at IWBC up in Boston, and they got some really cool equipment. So, Chris,
over by there.
Look forward to having you guys join us. All right. So Jennifer's been putting some posts up here. We can say hello to Prudence Vieira, Passive House Practice Lead and Hygrothermal Specialist. Say that 5 times after a couple whiskeys. Presents a Passive House cheat sheet, ways to make it easier and achievable. Love it. Guess who's here? Katie Kaluzny. Yay, Mark. Excited to have you. Thanks for the virtual home tour shout outs.
GBHT, Greenbuild Home Tour 2020. Katie, there's no one like you in the industry. I don't believe in cloning, but if we could, you'd be first in line.
Well, I think they're doing that somewhere. All right, Susan Raleigh, can you put up the link for the recordings of these fantastic top 10? Thanks. Yeah, you know what? We will. And actually, Susan, down below in the ticker, you can see the YouTube channel. Jen, can you put our YouTube channel in the link? That would be a great thing. Yeah, we'd love it. If you could like and share those, Susan, we always appreciate growing the knowledge. Thanks so much for asking for that, and we will put it in there.
I'll tell you what, Dave, on the accelerator this past Wednesday, Susan really asked some zingers. Super smart, accomplished lady, and she asked targeted questions. And the benefit, as you know, of people asking questions is everyone else is probably thinking those same things. So when you take the time to ask those questions, you're helping out everyone else that maybe didn't type or say something. So I forget where you're located, Susan, but it's great to have you on here. And yeah, YouTube has all these recorded, and you'll hear at the end of the show who's coming up next Friday. Yep. And I think you in particular, Susan, are really going to love next Friday's episode.
Yeah, for sure. Next Friday is a good one. And also, I don't know if you tuned in yesterday with my with Alex Sheridan. I had on a young guy who's a big LinkedIn growing star, and he made the comment, about the questions. He goes, everybody has a question. It's like being in high school and sitting in the classroom. You want to ask it, but you're not sure if you're going to embarrass yourself. And then somebody asks it, and you sit there and say, dang, I knew I should have asked it, because everybody's usually thinking the same thing. So
they are, and you should never worry about what you say, because it usually brings laughter if you don't say it right? So Confucius told us, he who laughs at himself never runs out of things to laugh about.
That's right. It's funny you say that. My wife, Jennifer, is like Confucius. She always says, you know who thinks I'm funny? I say, who? She goes, me.
This guy.
Right here. All right, we got some more. We got some love from Katie. Thanks for the love, Katie. All right, we also have Alyssa Alonzo. Hey, Alyssa, I sold modular for 20 years. William Scotsman in Acton. I'm so happy to see it go mainstream. you know what, Elisa, interestingly enough, we are as well. I've been building modulars and in the modular world for 20 years myself. And you have a main platform here. So anytime you want to talk about it or join us in a conversation, do so, because I have been touting this for a long time, and I'm so happy we are no longer the tail on the donkey.
She should link back. We're friends on Facebook. I don't believe I've ever met her. We have a lot of mutual friends.
Yeah.
And, I think she's with MI Homes, Dave, which I believe is a track builder, if I'm not correct.
Okay.
Or if I'm correct. I don't know how you say that, but whatever. Doesn't matter. We're live, unscripted. And the thing is, I believe she is with a track builder. And so if that's her background, Dave, right? It's the whole reason why we're here.
That's right.
How can we think about connecting these people in the industry who has those 20 years experience, like she has, like you have, Jennifer has, and the rest of us have, and produce these offsite with building science, baby.
All right.
Love it.
All the way through. Hey, we're going to start with that conversation next Friday.
Uh-oh.
We're digging a little bit deeper, man. I can't wait. Can't wait. All right. Susan is in Toronto. You know what? That's a bummer because we can't get together with Susan until after January now. But Susan, thanks so much. And please connect, if you're not connected, but I think we are. All right. Moving forward. Oh, I love these chats. Great way to ask questions. Looking forward to it. Love when people shout out. Etienne, happy to see my purple friend from the UK. Oh, does that mean Adam is with us somewhere? Yeah. Let's see. Much love, brother.
So here you got purple. You got purple from over the pond, right? Then you've got Etienne bringing the blue from Switzerland.
Yeah.
And then you got Sean up in Vancouver delivering the 475 step code high performance.
Well, you know what? That kind of leads us into number 9.
Number 9.
Drum roll, Mark. Drum roll. Number 9. Insane not to use a membrane. Does it breathe? Is it waterproof? Should it breathe? Should it not breathe? I mean, these were all the things that we talked about. Should you let the inside of your house breathe, or should you let the outside of your house breathe? Holy mackerel.
6 people were live, right?
Yeah.
Somehow, and of course, Prudence dug deep, right? And she threw out those questions, and Adam's sitting here sending me messages on WhatsApp like, holy crap, brother, I don't know what she's talking about with this purple dinosaur stuff.
The backdoor conversations during the live show.
It is, right? They blow up your phone, but we had 3 solution providers, and none of them said the end all be all, and none of them trash talked one another. What they did is they answered questions and they gave insights.
Yep.
That wasn't easy, right? It could have gone sideways, brother.
Yeah. It very quickly could have gone sideways. But here's the deal. We talk about this all the time. We collaborate in this industry. We collaborate in building science. We collaborate in offsite a lot. Doesn't happen so much in the production world and stick-built world, but in our world, we do. And the interesting thing about all 3 of them, all of their products had special pieces about them, all of them. Not one is better than the other. Maybe let me take it back. In certain applications, one might be better than another, but they can all be mixed together and they all serve a purpose. And that is the key. And the fact you can't just have one supplier out there. You have to have multiple suppliers always pushing the envelope and always making their products better and competing with each other. And the fact that they can have a legitimate, real conversation, and they couldn't bash each other because they know there's no bashing able to happen. Their products are good.
Right. We dropped a few elbows on each other during the show, but each person pointed out a benefit of the other product that someone else had. And I think that shows a lot about who they are as a person. And also, so everyone listening understands, Dave and I do have interview sessions multiple times with our guests beforehand. But a lot of that is just to create open dialogue so that when we're live, it feels natural. However, what needs to be said is no one has the questions ahead of time.
Nope.
Dave has them. I have them. Prudence has them. But Adam and Etienne and Sean, they showed up with competitors on each side without questions. They brought their smile.
Yeah.
And they brought their industry up, and they brought their solutions forward to the marketplace unequivocally for the betterment of our buildings and our health.
Amen. Yeah. Agree with that 100%. That was a lot of fun show. In fact, I think the way that show flowed will end up being one of the most watched episodes out there. Just what they had to say and the amount of information that came out of that show, the amount of data for somebody who's really trying to understand what house wrap they should use. That's the show they should watch, because we dove into it. We asked the hard questions, and they're all three. You won't go wrong no matter which one you pick. But they have different applications for different areas.
Our comments, Dave, if you remember, leading up to that, we were changing the show format so that this wouldn't happen, right? And then we had the 6 people on the show, and it just went so smoothly. It went really good, and so I tip my hat to their character to be able to be jovial, to be succinct, right? We told them, right? BS pause.
Oh, Mark Wille froze up on us.
Thank you for the BS pause, Dave, and Prudence. Thanks for being a part of that show. I'm really proud of that show, and I'm proud of what we accomplished by doing that, Dave.
I am too. You know, it was funny. Just when you were doing that, you did the hand up and you froze for about 3 seconds. Just like that. Just like that. Love it. Yeah, you did. You froze. So missed a little bit of that, but we got the end of it with being a proud show and Prudence and everything. And it really, really was. So, hey, let's do some, oh, wait, this way. Everything's backwards. Alyssa Alonso. Yep. I work for a developer. Ryan Holmes, NVR. Good. All right. Well, listen, I'm glad you're joining us. That really is great. Alyssa, link up with us on LinkedIn as well. We got this whole thing happening on LinkedIn. It'd be good to bring you into our conversations. We'd love to have your take on the future of offsite and what Ryan's looking at. And I think it's a big conversation we have not only on this show but all week long.
Hey, Dave, if she's getting a kick out of this one, should we tell people what's our next show? I mean, that's right up her alley. Susan's as well.
Yeah. Well, you talking about next Friday's show?
Next Friday with Harris. This Tuesday.
A long-time friend.
Yeah, this Tuesday. I'll keep talking while you do the heavy lifting. This past Tuesday, we had an hour and a half conversation with Harris, and so he works with various modular plants. Am I right, Dave?
He does. Yeah.
And so they produce all electric homes with 2x6 studs and R26 walls. Yep.
He's been doing it a long time too. He is somebody that people need to pay attention to, because he has found a way to do his system, and we'll let him talk about that. And when he explained it, and I've known this for a while, it was fun to watch your reaction, Mark. When he explained it, your eyes kind of lit up a little bit, because it was a new way of thinking in offsite modular construction.
Look, I'm obviously a huge fan of 2x6s, right? I think those who don't know me learn that quick. But for 15, 17 years, whatever, of banging drums in green and passive house, we've openly ripped apart the fiberglass community, and we make jokes. We call it filter glass, right? And Harris comes on, and he's like, hey, I'm building offsite. I'm building all electric homes. I'm building them with multiple people. There are 26 walls. I'm going above and beyond code, right? That's what he's doing.
Yep.
And Dave, that's our mission, right?
Absolutely.
If we have to tell people what our mission is, offsite and building science, offsite and building science. Did you hear that? That's what we're doing.
Off-site and building science. I heard it loud and clear. I heard it that way, loud and clear. Hey, listen, man. I want to pull out my soapbox, but I'm not. We're at an hour. So let's get to some more comments real quick, and then we'll get back to just saying hi to people, and we're going to wrap this up. Let's just see what other comments we got here real quick. We got George Ryman in the house. Good morning from hot Phoenix. Always hot in Phoenix, George. Maybe
Always hot in Phoenix. If we make a T-shirt, you know what's going to be our most popular shirt? George says it's hot in Phoenix today.
Yeah. George, picture of that face right there on the screen in quotes.
He's the nicest guy ever. George knows everyone. Right?
Yeah.
He picks up his phone on the first ring and it won't let you go. That guy, he's a smart cookie.
Yeah, for sure. He really, really, truly is. Shane McNutt joining us today. What's happening, brother? I hope you are well. Good to see you, Shane. Love it.
Happy Friday. Shane has not missed a show, Dave. This is 10 in a row.
Yeah, no, Shane's tuning in all week. I mean, not just this one, which is great. Big supporter. Shane has some great products too, and I think we're going to end up doing a product spotlight with Shane and Nudo because they're becoming bigger and bigger in the offsite industry. So it'll be fun to have Shane on the show.
Dave, if you come to Illinois, we've talked about this offline, but if you come to Illinois, they do their manufacturing there, and that might be a good time for you and I to bang some drums and play some more cowbell and hoot and holler, right?
That's right. Well, hey, listen, I love cowbells. I love drums, and I'm even going to get me a jug to blow in if we're going to go that far. And I'll maybe show up with my Viking beard. So, speaking of that, Mark, we are going to be taking this show on the road soon. East Coast, Midwest, and West Coast tours, and also for the production builders, we're going to be live streaming. We want to showcase innovation. We're going to showcase what people are doing out there, Mark. And I know you're going to join me on some of these tours, which is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to head all the way out west to Tekra, and we're going to see Jerry and some other people. So listen, if you guys want to help out on that or be a part of it, let us know because, to bring innovation and what we're doing, we could always use some support and help. But outside of that, we're coming. One way or the other.
I think what I heard inside of that, Dave, is Integra produces panelized products off-site, and that's why you're going there, right?
Well, 100%. Not only does Integra offer panelized products off-site, they offer precision panelized products with MEPs already drilled into everything. And they do not only the walls, but they do floor cassettes, roof cassettes, and they are putting houses up within a few hours. And guess what the best part about it is? They don't have dumpsters on site. Imagine
no
that.
Dumpsters.
Yeah, I'm going to showcase. Man, Jerry, he's like on the top of the list of places to go.
Hey, Jennifer, I think we need to get Jerry's permission of taking over his apparel, right? And we need to offer the marketplace precision equals performance. Integra, make framing great again. Offsite technology. The guy is the king of the one-liners, right? He takes 30 years of net zero success in offsite from Ireland. He comes to California, builds plant 1, builds plant 2, and leads the industry. So much respect to you, my friend.